Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one for you. So guys, I did a video not too long ago about the loneliness epidemic, quote unquote, and how a Surgeon General is saying that loneliness is an epidemic and how it's as deadly as smoking, right? And guys, in that video, I talked about how, guys, men have always been lonely. We always have, okay? Guys who drive trucks, guys who are, hobos living in the woods, or what's it called, doomsday preppers, or all those people, guys working on oil rigs where there's only like, a couple of dudes out there in the middle of the ocean. Guys, we are okay with being alone, right? But now, guys, more and more women are alone. And that's why all of a sudden the Surgeon General is saying that it's an epidemic, because women are not supposed to be alone. They are the more social of the human species, right? So now all of them are all drinking wine and and driving their dogs crazy. And now the government has to do something about it because they complain. And guys, men don't. So guys, we have an article here. It's called "What Happens to Men Who Never Marry According to Science." Men who never marry or have kids might not be as lonely as they seem. Okay? And this is from Men's Health. And guys, we're going to get into this. But before we do, please remember to like, subscribe, drop a comment. Make sure you are subscribed, guys. YouTube's doing some crazy stuff again. Hit the notification bell, guys. And check the community tab for the lives. Guys, now, it used to be back in the day, guys, that you had to get married. You had to, right? In the 1920s, 10s, the 1800s, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, whatever, you had to be like Red Foreman from that 70s show and get married, right? Only bachelors were rich guys. The Hugh Hefners and all those guys, right? Like, it was a luxury to be a bachelor. Think about that for a second. And then all of a sudden we've acted like, oh, men can't take care of themselves on their own, and men are this and men are that, and men can't feed themselves, blah, 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 blah. Guys, being single, being older, and being by yourself was a luxury back in the day. And now it's a luxury that even average earning men can afford. So, of course, they have to villainize this. But now, guys, there's data to actually show that men who are single and don't get married actually can live healthy lives. Now, guys, we knew this, but it takes actual data from these knuckleheads like Lauren Vinopal, who wrote this, to understand what we're actually saying. Okay, guys. It says, there's no perfect time to get married or have kids, but when men follow through with both, it changes their lives forever. Conversely, men who never marry or have families are launched on a vastly different life trajectory. Society tends to teach us that the life of being a bachelor and never getting married is a territory of best friends and rom-coms with those intimacy issues. Of course, guys, because women want us to marry them. We control that, guys, and they shame us into doing it. They don't want us to have control, so they shame us for exercising our control. Okay. This is, of course, far from the truth. In fact, new research shows that many single and never married men lead healthy, fulfilling lives full of friends, sensitivity, and resilience. According to recent scientific studies, men who never get married may gain strength from solitude. Guys, how do people not know that, right? I know plenty of guys my age, guys that are my dad's age, where they just want to be left the hell alone. Especially guys that have been divorced. They've been married for 20 years, and then they get divorced and realize, wow, I've been missing out on all this peace and quiet and being in freedom this whole time. Okay. They have more extensive social networks and a deeper connection to work. They're also differently vulnerable to some of life's travails. Okay. Single men are rich in friendship. That's not new, right, guys? Single men are not necessarily isolated basement dwellers. They're actually significantly more likely than married men to have several close friends. Yeah, because they don't have a wife who, I don't like your friend Steve. He drinks too much. I don't like your friend John because he cheated on his ex-wife. I don't like your friend whatever, because he always talks about football. You know what I'm saying? So you can have all your own friends. Okay. 1 in 8 men report having no friends at all. And a lot of these men are married with kids. Boom! Right there, guys. Right there. What did I just say? A lot of these married men don't have any friends at all. Despite research showing that friendships help people live longer lives, stave off cognitive decline, and increase general well-being. Guys' friends are a public health commodity that single men have covered. Right there, guys. But they're poor in money. Now, guys, this one is a little bit tricky. Watch. What single men gain in friends, they lose in money, studies show. Men who stay unmarried make anywhere from 10 to 40% less than married men. But think about this, guys. That doesn't matter because they're only paying for themselves. And they're not paying for kids. If you are a single man and you're making 40% less than Steve over there, who's got 3 kids and a wife, he's basically throwing that 40% away. College and medical bills and all this other stuff that he has to pay for his kids, right? There's evidence that fathers make up to 21% more than men without children. Those studies also suggest that men with wives and kids work longer hours and put up with more workplace bullshit than single men. So guys, they work longer hours because they're trying to get away from the wife and kids, right? And they put up with more crap because now they have mouths to feed and they can't just leave their job, whereas single guys can. You know? Now, this doesn't mean marriage and parenthood cause financial stress, cause financial success, though anecdotally that sure doesn't sound right. Indeed, other research argues that men are simply more likely to get married and have their kids when their income's already rising. Either way, your unmarried, childless bachelor friends are probably making less money than you. So guys, this is BS, right? If you're single, you don't need to make as much money as a married guy. Men who aren't married commit more crimes. Marriage often reduces the likelihood that men will commit crimes, studies suggest. And data indicates that becoming a father quells criminal impulses even farther. In societies with disproportionate number of single men who cannot marry or have children, either as a result of polygamy or uneven sex ratios, we tend to see higher crime rates, higher rates of extremism, and more times of war. And guys, that's what's happening in a lot of places now because the 80% rule. 80% of the chicks are banging less than 20% of the dudes. So a lot of guys are acting out. But bachelors are more sensitive to feelings of judgment and regret. Now, guys, this one's BS. Because look, when men cannot have their own children due to fertility problems, studies suggest that they may experience a period of bereavement and regret. Guys, how many guys can't have kids because of fertility problems? Come on, right? And when they can't have children because they can't find partners, there's that word again, guys, they're more likely to be judged by others and more likely to lash out. And then, of course, they have to talk about incels, blah, 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 right? Okay. Being single for men doesn't necessarily mean being lonely. Scientists are starting to suspect they've underestimated the upsides of being alone. Despite warnings of a loneliness epidemic that I spoke about in another video, single men without children report deeper connections to friends, parents, and other family members as well as their work. Single people have heightened sense of self-determination and are more likely to continue growing as a people. One study found bachelors also may demonstrate more emotional self-sufficiency, especially when it comes to dealing with negative emotions, because they don't have some woman that they can't, that if they open up to her, she's going to use it against them later on. Guys, let me know if you're surprised by this, right? Let me know, guys, in the comments if you know a lot of older single guys that are living their best lives, guys. Because I do. I know more than a couple guys. I would say from ages, 35 to like 65, 70, you know? And they're doing great. So guys, don't believe that single men are just gonna die miserable. Single women die miserable. But oftentimes, guys, by the time that a guy has been married for 30 years and he ends up being single, that's the happiest he's ever been. All right, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and I'm out of here.